Hey there, it's Maven, and I was going to talk to you a little bit about some things that had happened to me when I was in the Christian Cult International Churches of Christ. I became a disciple right away. I studied. I studied for a week, which was very unusual, and I was baptized. I met some very, very nice, beautiful, beautiful people who, honestly, I believe, really, really wanted to follow God, really wanted to follow the Bible. And I tried to imitate those people. There were other people that were kind of scary and very, very judgmental, not like Jesus. I was very outgoing. I invited people to church. I didn't have a whole lot of people come with me. But now that I look back on it, I was kind of weird. So I probably wouldn't go to church with me either. But when I did bring people to church, oftentimes they weren't the stellar business people and sharpest tools in the shed, or whatever you want to call it. A few times they were homeless people and people that I just met on the street that I got to know fairly quickly and invited them. And at one point I was told that I didn't bring the right people to church, that I should be looking for sharp people, not for needy people. And that just didn't really sit well with me, because Jesus spent all his time with sinners and people that were considered the dregs of society, and he accepted everybody the same. And, basically to hear that you're not doing it right was damaging. They encouraged double dating, and I was a very encouraging sister. I would invite brothers out for a date because I wasn't getting asked that often. In fact, my roommate and I did a lot of double dating. So, sorry, a phone message came through. My roommate and I did a lot of double dating, and we were both single moms. We did a lot of inviting them into our home, cooking dinner, doing spiritual games, and we planned the whole evening out, and hardly ever got invited back. There was not a lot of reciprocation. There were a few, very few brothers who would invite us out, and we would go and have a good time, and then that would be it. One time when Pam was out on a date with one of the brothers, he confided in her that the brothers don't really date overweight sisters because their sin is obvious. Seriously? I thought that dating was supposed to be an encouragement, not a beauty contest. And in fact, I treated it like that because a lot of the brothers that I asked out were not good looking and buff. In fact, most of the time, they had pot bellies and they dressed slovenly. But, I was encouraging the brothers. In fact, the brother that confided this nice little tidbit to Pam was also a beer-bellied, well, not beer-belly because we didn't drink, a pot-bellied man. And so the double standard was incredible. It's like, okay, so your sin is not obvious. Okay. But on top of all that, aren't we all sinners? And shouldn't we be encouraging one another? But the big joke of the whole thing was Pam and I double dated for 10 years in the church, and we're a couple now. So, guys, I guess you were double dating. I guess you were dating the brother, because apparently Pam and I got along real well. Anyway, yeah. It also goes to show that all those advice columnists that said, if you want to find your soulmate, go to church. Pam was my ride to my baptism. So I found my soulmate at church, and I recommend it. But anyway, I've been overweight nearly my entire life, and I tried every diet out there. I had a doctor put me on a diet. I've had, I was on Weight Watchers. I did low carb. I did just, whatever I could. And I would always get to a point where the diet wouldn't be working for me anymore. I mean, sometimes I'd lose 150 pounds. And then, something would happen. So I had decided that I wasn't going to tell anybody I was on a diet. I was just going to do it. And I had gone to Overeaters Anonymous, and they gave me a low carbohydrate food plan. So I took it to my doctor, and I got her opinion on it, and she made some modifications to it and gave me the okay. So I did that. I did, one of my coworkers had a Tybo tape, so we did Tybo at lunchtime, and that must have been funny looking, but I didn't care. I was trying. I would walk, at lunchtime, I would walk all around city blocks, and I really was very, very determined. So I started to lose weight, and I kept it under wraps because I really felt like if anybody knew what I was doing, then I would be overcome by naysayers, and I couldn't do that. And when I had lost 50 pounds, my sector leader preached about me and had me stand up. And I was so unhappy that he had done that, because I did not want to be recognized for doing this. And he, told people, and there were plenty of people in there that were way, way overweight. And he kind of told them to talk to me about what I was doing and, kind of get advice from me. Well, after church, I had several conversations, and most of them were ungood. A lot of criticism, a lot of critical thinking, like that's not healthy, and all this other kind of, stuff that kind of weighed down on me. I was still determined. I was going to do what I was going to do, but now I had a spotlight. I was like a target on me. And when we got together for Bible talk or house church or whatever, and they would have food, there wouldn't be anything I could eat. And so I wasn't thinking I should have brought my own stuff, but I didn't. And then it was, kind of highlighted that I wasn't participating, and I couldn't participate. So then I have to talk about my food plan and open it up for criticism again. And I lost about 125 pounds, and it was a struggle because I had to fight my sisters and brothers for help. And, when I asked for, help, it wasn't there. And so I just gave up and gave in. And once I did, I started gaining weight again, and then so everything was back to normal, and everybody was okay with me again. The other thing is I was a singer, and at one point I sang with the Naval Academy's outside band, and so I had a pretty decent singing voice, but the church wouldn't really let me use it because I was not a good example, being so overweight, that they didn't want to, I guess, reward me to use the talent God gave me in church. What really got to me was there were other people who were morbidly obese, but it was okay for them to be song leaders and be in the singing ministry, but it wasn't for me. And those kind of things did damage, and it hurts. So anyway, those are just a couple of the things that, had happened with me. And there's so much more. But I think I'm going to take a break. So I will talk to you later, and I thank you for listening. Bye.